Being here through COVID and through breakups. Robyn and I have lived.
Sister Wives. Robyn Brown finally gets what she deserves, admits she hates being Kody's only wife ***. In the ever-evolving, often tumultuous world of TLC's Sister Wives, few storylines have captivated audiences quite like the dramatic unraveling of Kody Brown's polygamous family structure. Once hailed as a modern portrait of plural marriage, complete with shared holidays, co-parenting, and carefully curated harmony, the Brown family's narrative has, in recent years, devolved into a cautionary tale of broken promises, emotional neglect, and fractured trust. At the heart of this disintegration stands Robyn Brown, Kody's fourth and final wife, who, after years of positioning herself as the chosen one in Kody's inner circle, now finds herself alone with a man she no longer respects, and perhaps never truly loved. The phrase "Robyn Brown finally gets what she deserves" has become a viral refrain among longtime viewers of the show, not out of malice, but out of a collective sense of poetic justice. For over a decade, Robyn played a pivotal role in the destabilization of the Brown family dynamic. She entered the family in 2010 as the much younger fiancée of Kody Brown, already married, spiritually, if not legally, to Meri, Janelle, and Christine. Her arrival immediately disrupted the fragile equilibrium the other wives had painstakingly maintained. Where Meri had once been Kody's first and, for many years, his favorite, Robyn quickly supplanted her not just in Kody's affections, but in his decision-making, his public narrative, and, ultimately, his loyalty. Robyn's rise within the family was marked by a series of strategic moves that alienated her sister wives. She pushed for the family's relocation from Lehi, Utah, to Las Vegas, a move ostensibly for business and safety from legal scrutiny, but one that many believe was engineered to isolate Kody from his other wives and center Robyn and her children as his new core family. While Meri, Janelle, and Christine struggled to rebuild their lives in a new city without the communal support they once had, Robyn and Kody moved into a larger, more luxurious home, often seen hosting private dinners and vacations that excluded the others. Perhaps most damaging was Robyn's role in the dissolution of Kody's marriages to his first three wives. While Kody claimed that his relationships with Meri, Janelle, and Christine had simply run their course, insiders and viewers alike noted that his emotional and physical withdrawal coincided almost exactly with his deepening bond with Robyn. When Christine announced her separation from Kody in 2021, a shocking moment that sent ripples through the fanbase, she cited years of emotional neglect and Kody's favoritism toward Robyn as key reasons. Janelle and Meri followed suit shortly after, each releasing statements that painted a picture of a man who had abandoned his plural vows the moment a younger, more compliant partner entered the picture. For years, Robyn remained publicly silent or defensive about her role in the family's collapse. In interviews and on social media, she portrayed herself as a devoted wife and mother, unfairly vilified by jealous ex-wives and judgmental viewers. She leaned into the narrative that she and Kody were simply following their spiritual path and that those who couldn't keep up were choosing to leave of their own accord. But behind the carefully curated Instagram posts and staged family photos, cracks were beginning to show. Then came the bombshell. In a recent, emotionally raw interview, not officially part of the Sister Wives series, but confirmed by multiple entertainment outlets, Robyn made a stunning admission. "I hate being Kody's only wife," she confessed, her voice trembling. "This isn't what I signed up for. I never wanted to be the woman who broke up a family. I thought I was joining something sacred, a sisterhood. Instead, I became the reason it all fell apart." Her words struck a chord far beyond the usual Sister Wives fanbase. Here was the woman who had, for over a decade, been painted as the villain, the interloper who manipulated her way into the center of Kody's world, finally acknowledging the emotional and moral cost of her choices. But more than that, she revealed a deep disillusionment with Kody himself. "He's not the man I thought he was," she said. "He talks about God and destiny and divine order, but when it came down to it, he chose comfort over commitment. He chose me not because I was his equal, but because I was easier to control. This admission reframes Robyn's entire arc within the Brown family saga. No longer is she simply the scheming fourth wife who outmaneuvered her rivals. She is now a cautionary figure in her own right, a woman who believed she was stepping into a life of spiritual fulfillment and familial unity, only to find herself trapped in a gilded cage with a man whose love was conditional, performative, and ultimately self-serving. What makes Robyn's confession so powerful is its timing. It comes after years of public scrutiny, social media backlash, and the very real consequences of Kody's abandonment of his other wives. With Meri, Janelle, and Christine rebuilding their lives independently, Meri embracing her identity as a lesbian and finding love outside the polygamous structure, Janelle thriving in her career and co-parenting relationship, and Christine openly dating and advocating for mental health, Robyn remains tethered to a man whose brand is crumbling under the weight of his own contradictions. Kody, for his part, has doubled down on his narrative. In recent episodes and public appearances, he continues to portray himself as a misunderstood patriarch, unfairly judged by a society that doesn't understand celestial marriage. He speaks of Robyn as his true partner, yet viewers note the growing distance between them, both emotional and physical. Rumors of marital strain have swirled for months, with sources close to the family suggesting that Robyn has been spending increasing amounts of time away from their shared home, focusing on her jewelry business and personal healing. Robyn's admission that she hates being Kody's only wife is layered with irony. For years, she appeared to relish her position as Kody's favorite. She was the only wife he legally married in 2019, a move that many interpreted as a final rejection of his other spiritual unions. She was the one who stood by his side during media appearances, who defended him when critics accused him of hypocrisy, and who bore him 3 additional children, bringing his total to 18. Yet now, stripped of the sisterhood she once claimed to value, she finds herself isolated not just from her former co-wives, but from the very ideology that once gave her life meaning. This moment of reckoning also forces a reevaluation of the entire premise of Sister Wives. The show, which premiered in 2010, was marketed as a window into a functional, loving polygamous family. But as the years progressed, it became increasingly clear that the Browns' version of plural marriage was less about shared love and more about patriarchal control disguised as spiritual devotion. Kody, who never held a full-time job during much of the show's run, relied on the labor, emotional support, and public compliance of his wives to maintain his image. When they began to assert their independence, questioning his decisions, seeking therapy, or simply wanting more equitable relationships, he discarded them without hesitation. Robyn, once complicit in this system, now appears to see it for what it truly was. Her confession isn't just about regret over her role in the family's breakup. It's an indictment of the entire structure that allowed Kody to treat his wives as disposable. "I thought I was special," she admitted. "But the truth is, I was just the next in line. And now that there's no one else to replace me, he's stuck with me, and I'm stuck with him." The phrase "gets what she deserves" is often used vindicatively, but in Robyn's case, it carries a more nuanced meaning. She doesn't deserve suffering or public shaming. Rather, she deserves the clarity that comes from facing the consequences of her choices. For years, she benefited from the marginalization of her sister wives. Now, she experiences the loneliness that results when a relationship is built on exclusion rather than inclusion.